enjoying it here, you guys. I love the freedom. I love the peace that the neighborhood has, and I think even more so, I love the fact that I don't have this huge mortgage over my head anymore.
Yeah.
I don't worry about property taxes.
Yeah.
So it's really worked out nice. It's just a real peaceful, on to the next chapter type of situation for me. Well, I've always wanted to do something a little bit different. I'm very adventuresome. I just don't see myself ever retiring, but I've always thought about retirement. Right. So I bought my last home. It was a short sale, and I bought it as an investment. 2,000 square feet, beautiful home in a great area. Put it up on the market, got very blessed. The market, as we all know, flew. Yeah. So I made a nice chunk of change out of that.
Right.
And at the same time, my kids had outgrown their home and they were looking for something bigger.
Okay.
So they were out looking one day, and one of the homes they looked at had a mother-in-law type of apartment, little rental. And my daughter had asked me, "Mom, what would you think about living with us in that aspect?" And I thought, ew, really? I mean, I got rid of all of them. I didn't want to move back in with them.
Too close? Or
Yeah. And so I went home, started crunching some of the numbers, and I thought, that's not a bad idea. I could really cut my overhead.
Yeah.
I could really get that goal or that dream. And lo and behold, a few months later, my daughter calls me, my son-in-law's gone on a trip, and says, "Hey, I found this house, you need to come and look at it." So we came and looked at it, and wow, it was great. And it was this property.
Right.
And as you guys know, this was an old garage that had been converted into an office space. There was a basketball hoop hanging down, a garage door.
Right.
And I looked at it and I got excited.
Yeah.
Luckily, the kids bought the house.
Yeah.
And we sat down as a family and said, okay, if I do this, I want to do it my way. I want it to be my style. That peace of mind, like I was talking about, it's like being on vacation all the time. I love what we've done.
Right.
It's just everything that I could have wanted and more. I never thought I would be where I'm at right now.
And now this is a small home. You're here.
Yeah.
You're loving it. You're on the same property with your kids and your grandkids. So talk about that a little bit. What have you experienced so far? What are your hopes in those categories moving forward?
It's actually awesome. I love, in the old day, you'd call your neighbor and say, "Hey, can I borrow a cup of sugar?" Now I text my daughter and I go, "Hey, can you send Bowie down with a cup of sugar?" And down he comes. The grandkids are awesome. I love having them this close. I know some people might think it's a pain, but Saturday mornings he'll come down, knock on the door, and we do pancakes or waffles.
So
he gets more whipped cream here than he probably does at home.
Oh, yeah.
But there's been a few mornings where they'll stop on their way out because I work from home sometimes, and my grandson and granddaughter just want to hug before they go to school. And it's just, I had the opportunity to be around my grandparents, and I relished it. To this day, it's a memory that I want to instill upon my grandchildren. So it's worked out, I think, really well. And what's awesome is this is a small neighborhood, so we all know each other.
Yeah.
Great people, we're hanging out. Hey, I've had a few of the neighbors over wanting to, "What did you do?"
Yeah.
Right.
And so I'll invite them in, and it's really, most of the neighbors are more my age, so they're kind of looking at, wow, this is really interesting. That a family unit actually can get along the way we do too.
Yeah.
So one of my girlfriends mentioned you too, and I knew of you from church, but I'd never met you.
Right.
So I gave you a call, and lo and behold, you kept the time that you said you were going to be here. You both showed up.
That's amazing.
Yeah. But what was really amazing, and I don't know if you even know this, Chris, you got out of your truck and you were already looking at the project, and you were just like almost as excited as I was when I first saw it. And you and I clicked right away. The trust, I would have to say trust was number one from the day I met you guys, because I really didn't know what I was doing or getting myself into.
Right.
The second thing was I had this vision, and I would say, "Chris, what do you think? I want to open up these walls. Is this possible? What can we do? I want to do this. I was all over the place." And you said, "Yeah, I think we can do that. Let me check further. Let me look at opening this. We might have to put a beam in. We can do this.
Yeah.
I need to get a plumber. I need to get an electrician." So you pulled the whole team together.
Right.
So I knew right away when you gave me the bid that things were going to get done, and they were going to get done right.
I remember that meeting that you're talking about where Mitzi and I came and we connected with you, and I remember the emotion that you communicated with about this kitchen and having your grandkids come down to have pancakes. Really, I remember that, and I remember thinking we have to open this area up so when the grandkids walk in the door, there's a peninsula with a beautiful bar to eat in, and grandma's cooking that breakfast, and the grandkids are sitting down, and it's open to the living area. And I'm just so happy the way that it's turned out, because I had hoped it would be this.
Yeah, exactly. And you told me
we were legitimately as excited as you were for this project, because we felt your vision for it. I want to be the grandma where my kids are running down the hill to come and have pancakes with me. That's the grandma I want to be too. So it just spoke to us. We drove away going, wow, we're super excited about this project. It's something different than what we've done before, and we felt your passion for it.
I mean, all those little touch points that you're getting to have with your kids and your grandkids, unbelievable.
And it's awesome. I was a single mom, so I kind of felt like I missed out a little bit, especially during the 80s. We didn't have the work-life balance that we have now. Your employers didn't understand that, look, I need to be home by a certain time to pick my kids up from daycare. So I felt like I missed out a little bit. I missed out on some of the mother-daughter teas and things that would happen during the day when I had to work. And, you know, say what you want to say, maybe I'm making up for it with my grandchildren, but having that family dynamic, it means a lot, I think, to all of us. Just having this, like you said, wanting to travel and do things, this gives me that ability. Somebody's here to watch the dog, to watch the house. My dream and my next goal is to either find a position or open my own company where I can travel some and maybe go to Hawaii in the winter time and work. Just the overhead, having a place is going to allow me to do more than I thought I was going to.
What are your favorite things that made this place home for you?
I think obviously the kitchen, because that's where we spend all of our time, but there were little things like at one point where the refrigerator and the microwave and the stove eventually will go, there was a window, and I wanted my sink to be moved over there because I wanted to be able to look out. And Chris and I looked at it, Chris said, I can give you more room if we get rid of this window and you have plumbing right here and move the sink where it now is. What was great is not only did it work out as far as the function of the kitchen, but it saved me a lot of money, because running the pipes through the wall to get the plumbing over there with the concrete slab just made sense. So working together as a team to create that. The kitchen is definitely my favorite, but the bathroom's a little spot in itself.
It is.
I mean, it was
all they had in before was a sink and a toilet. It was literally like an office bathroom.
And think about a guy's bathroom. I mean, it was nasty. Sorry guys, but it was dirty. There was a room for a shower, and there was a hole, but there was dirt in there. And it was just a workman's bathroom, you know, guy contractors. And so I remember thinking, can you fix this
Can you
bathroom?
do something to make it for me?
Oh, the first time I went in and the tile had gone up, and there was a tub, and you had to straighten the walls out. I was thrilled.
Now I love how you're using these movable walls to kind of separate spaces within this studio. Like tell us a little bit about the vision behind that.
At one point, I had sold one of my homes in Puyallup, and I moved into a little cottage. And it was a converted garage also, but way tinier than this. It was like maybe half of this. And she had little screens in there that she had used, and it was really kind of a great idea. So I kind of stole the idea from her. Her mother had come over from Ireland and had lived in this little converted garage cottage, as she called it. And I remember thinking one day, I could live like this. I happened to be walking through a furniture store one day, and I saw these screens, and I thought, back to the cottage, I thought, this is the perfect idea. You really would be surprised with the privacy screen, how private that little bedroom area is.
Well, and one of the great things that this already had was your skylights.
Oh, they're awesome.
Which adds so much brightness in here. You wouldn't want to build a wall that's going to block off half of those skylights. Now you have this wide open feel in here.
Let's end this conversation with this question. You have now sold a 2,000 square foot home where you had obviously a lot more things, and you've kind of downsized, and you're now learning how to live in a smaller, this space is about 700 square feet.
Right.
So there's a lot of baby boomers that are aging that I think will end up doing just what you've done. What would you say to them? Like, what would be the benefits, the value, maybe some of the things you've overcome just in these last few weeks that you've been in the house?
I would say the number one benefit, believe it or not, at least for me, is cash flow.
Yeah.
I mean, my expenses have gone way down. I was making a pretty hefty house payment. I would have to say the other thing is it's not that hard to downsize. The hardest thing for me is I'm a real nostalgic person, so getting rid of certain things.
Super tough.
Has lots of emotional
exactly.
things behind it.
Or repurposing. So what I did is I took things that I thought I couldn't live without.
Right.
Maybe things that I got inherited from my parents or my grandparents, and I put them in little tubs and I just put them away. I just stored them away. But I didn't get ridiculous to where I had storage bins everywhere. I said, what do I really want?
Yeah.
Right.
And then I went through things like clothing, linens. I mean, do you really need 24 towels?
Right.
You know, things like that. Really learn that simplicity isn't just living without things, it's just living with a fewer things. But just taking what I need, what can I get by with? Don't look at all the model homes and say, that's what I want. What do you want? Put yourself into it.
Wow, I love
You know,
that.
So
what's
you're
your
happy to come
personality?
home every day.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, I love coming home. I feel like I'm on vacation all the time right now.
And you mentioned the ease of cleanup when you don't have, when you've downsized and you've made sure to clear your space, there's not a lot to pick up, there's not a lot to clean up.
Right, which means you can spend more time with your family and your kids.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
I can spend way more time either with my family, traveling, doing what I want to do. It takes me 20 minutes to clean house now versus all day on a Saturday. You know, when you go from 2,200 square feet, 2-story, to 750, it's a huge difference, but it's so doable.
You know, our vision at Gordon T. Jacob is to build neighborhoods and really create relationships that last a lifetime. And Mitzi and I have massively enjoyed working with you, getting to know you, your heart for your family and friends. I mean, the relationship that you have with Teresa, I mean, it's been amazing getting to know you. And we really, really have enjoyed turning this garage into your own personal cottage.
After you left that day, the first day you were here, I had no doubt in my mind that we were going to team up. I got to know Stephanie at your office, Renee, different contractors that were here. I would come and go and they'd stop and talk with me.
Right.
It was a team effort. I mean, it got to the point where you never made a decision without conferring with me first. And half the time I'm like, Chris, I trust you, do it. So I really am so grateful that we got to know each other. I hope I'm never doing this again, but if I did, I would definitely call you.
Well, that's awesome.
But it just, I love the friendship that we have now because of a job. If you ever need anybody for small design work, call me.
That's right.
But this has been great, you guys. You have so blessed me with just your skills and everything, your friendship.
You have also blessed us, and we're just super privileged to be a part of your journey here.
Yeah, definitely.
Thanks, you guys.